longtime member of the state Senate, General Assembly, Sheriff Ken Stolle. Hey, Sheriff, good to have you with us, man.
Good morning, John. How are you?
I tell you what, Sheriff, never better. Never better. I want to just comment that I saw your open letter in the Virginia Pilot the other day talking about why you believed that it was not the best move for current 4th District Congressman Randy Forbes to run in the 2nd District for Scott Ridgell's seat. As you know, the 4th District and the 2nd District, even with the new lines, there's zero overlap. But I thought that putting that out there, Sheriff, I thought that really took some moxie because, you know, Randy Forbes is a pretty powerful congressman, sits on the Foreign Relations Committee, sits on the House Armed Services Committee, sits on the Judiciary Committee. You know, he's second in command in Armed Services. He got a lot of seniority. Share with our audience your thoughts if indeed the redistricting holds and Randy Forbes evaluates running for Scott Ridgell's now open seat in the 2nd District. Share with our audience why you just don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I think the 4th District is well represented by Randy Forbes, and I think the 2nd District deserves their own congressperson, and that person should come from the 2nd District. And I don't think the statute ever contemplated that somebody would run for a district that they didn't reside in. I think that statute was intended for people that were redistricted out of their district and that they could remain in their office until the new elections came up, and they could then decide whether they're going to move into their old district or move into a new district and run. But I don't think it ever contemplated that somebody would run from a district they didn't live in.
Now, what about the argument that those that are in favor of this, and Scott Ridgell being one of them, Congressman Ridgell was on my show a week ago and said that if the redistricting holds, that he would endorse, campaign, raise money for, and otherwise be an enthusiast of Randy Forbes running in the district. And one of the things that they say is like, look, you know, Forbes has got a lot of seniority. If we lose him, it's bad for the entire area, 2nd District included. What about that argument?
Well, I don't agree with that argument. I think that people should be elected to Congress based on their ideas and their leadership and things of that nature. You know, electing people based on seniority is everything that's represented bad about our government. And we shouldn't elect people based on their seniority. We should elect people based on their ideas and what positions or what theories they bring to office so they can get elected. But, you know, electing people based on their power or seniority is not what elections should be about.
So, you know, some people are saying, look, when you run in another district, normally there's some overlap. Like maybe with the new lines, 10 or 20 or 30% of your old district is in the district you're going to run in. So there's some overlap there. And that was for purposes of not living in it. But you take Congressman Forbes, great guy. He's my congressman now. I have voted for him many, many times. Love what he does. But your argument is, look, he doesn't live in the district. He's a second or third generation Chesapeake family. None of the 4th that he represents now is going into the 2nd. So there's zero overlap. I mean, there's not one precinct that overlaps. So basically, some people say, well, if he comes in, he would just be carpet bagging in to the 2nd District. But, I mean, he would still have to win that, right? I mean, he would still have to win a nominating convention or a primary, and then wouldn't it just be up to the Republicans involved in the nominating process to decide if he's the guy or not?
Well, it would. Now, let me make it clear. Randy's a friend of mine, and he'll be a friend. He was a friend before this happened, and he'll be a friend after this happens. And we're big enough to put politics aside and deal with our friendship and our relationship individually. But you know, this is about the 2nd District being represented by somebody from within the 2nd District. And yes, you're right that if Randy wins the nomination and he wins the election, the statute would allow him to serve the 2nd District, but he's not from the 2nd District, and I just was trying to offer him some friendly advice that he ought to seek re-election in the district that he's been representing for 15 years now. And if I lived in the 4th, I'd be supporting Randy Forbes, and I'd be campaigning for him. But I can't do it if he doesn't live in the 2nd.
So the fact that if the Supreme Court, Sheriff Stolle, doesn't stay this redistricting decision, the Forbes camp is saying, look, 61 in the new district line, 62% of that district voted for Obama in 2008 and 61% voted for Obama in 2012. And what they're saying is that basically is not a winnable district. You can't win, especially in a presidential election year. Maybe they could win and figure it out in 2018, but they're saying they don't have enough time. So, and Ridgel resigned. Now, what about the fact that Ridgel's backing him?
Well, I'm disappointed that Scott did that, and I think that was short-sighted, and I think it left a lot of us feeling betrayed by Scott Ridgel. But, you know, I have no interest in running for that seat, and I just hope we find a good congressman that lives in the 2nd district that can run for that seat. I know we can, and I think I have a lot of confidence in Randy. I think he's won that district before when people say he couldn't win it, and I think he'll win it again. And I'll campaign for him in the 4th. But I think that the 2nd is entitled to their own congressperson that resides in the 2nd and has the common interests that people in the 2nd district have, and the 4th district is not the 2nd district.
Okay, so let me ask you one more question, Sheriff Stolle. When are you guys at Virginia Beach and the 2nd district? When are you going to decide what the nominating process will be?
Well, I think that's the 2nd district got to decide that, and my guess is they'll probably do that within a month or at least a month and a half. And I think that that decision needs to be made rather soon so that Congressman Forbes can decide what he has to deal with, and those of us in the 2nd district can decide how we're going to deal with the issue. But I'm not sure. Curtis Colgate is the chairman of the 2nd district, right, and I don't think he's set the time for when the committee's going to decide that yet.
Sheriff, do you have a nominating methodology preference? Would you like to see a convention, a firehouse primary, or just a regular primary? What do you think would best serve the nominating process for Republicans for the 2nd district right now?
I think an open primary without a pledge is what we need to have at the presidential level and also the congressional level.
All right, that's going to be the final word. We want to thank Sheriff Ken Stolle for being with us, saying that Randy Forbes should not run in the 2nd district, that he should seek nomination in his own district, and that the 2nd district needs somebody that lives and represents the area from the Virginia Beach area.